Hey, good morning. Hope you're doing well today. Hope you're having a good time. It's Tuesday, two for Tuesday. How do we 10x what we do, right? How do we get more out of our day? How do we double our output and help support our goal for doubling our output for our own sake, mental health. So we're going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about tracking non-development work, and I'm going to give some pointers, some thoughts, how to retro on it, questions you might want to ask about that um, development work. So it's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum show. This is our Tuesday. So part of our new theme where we're doing Mondays are metric Mondays, Tuesdays are 2-4. You see the 2-4 for Tuesday, where we try to double our work. Wednesday is we and team. Thursday is retrospective. And then Friday is fun Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday is self-improvement, self-success, self-growth, evolving. So I am Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach, and here we talk about on the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show, Scrum and Agile in a very practical, tactical way. I'm going to give you some practical, tactical tips for managing your work to lighten your day today. And we do this so that you can bring more value to the customer, not work crazy hours to bring that value to the customer, and have a little fun along the way. Maybe we'll open some space for fun later in the week. So, what am I talking about? It's a constant battle. Meetings. Everyone complains about meetings. So, and I think I mentioned this no, I haven't yet. I am going to talk about owning your own destiny in the future. But today I want to talk about owning and not be a complainer. Like, I'll be honest with you, when I hear people, oh, I have all these meetings, I'm so busy with stuff. Show me the data, right? I hear it. We all have it. Show me the data, track it, show it. I'll be honest with everyone in the room rolls their eyes when people say this all the time, and you may not think so, but they do, right? So you need to provide data, and that's the beauty of these systems that we have now that can help you generate that data. So what I am suggesting, if you feel like you're not getting what you want done, you feel like your board is empty with stuff to do, because people do look at that. I know it's a bad thing, but they do. Like, if you only have one issue on your board for the entire sprint, they're going to want to give you more stuff to do, right? They're going to well, you're not as productive because you don't have as much stuff on your board as everyone else. So you're not as productive. So trust me, they are. They shouldn't think that, but they do. It's just the nature of the beast, and it's part of that process. So what I'm giving you is your non-development stuff. It could be a couple forms. One could be go to meetings, support other teams, support projects. Could be DevOps stuff, could be operational support stuff. Whatever it is, track it on your board. Okay. Track it on your Jira, your Azure board, your Scrum board, your Kanban board, whatever it is. And probably not a Kanban would, well, you know what? Kanban, what the heck? Put it on your Kanban board. Put something in there. Give it a title. If your Scrum Master or Agile coach says, no, we only track development, say bullshit, call them out and say, no, I want to put down someone that's not, I want to put a story in my backlog that covers this non-development stuff, because I get a lot of it and distracts me and prevents me from doing major development work. And I want to track it. And if they don't let you do it, they're not a very good Agile coach, and they're not a very good Scrum Master, and not a good manager. Because what you can say is, I want to track this. And let's say you just do it for one sprint. Let's compromise. Like, don't be a jerk and say, oh, you got to do it all the time. Okay. I say, look, I just want to do it for this sprint. I want to track it. I want to collect some data, and I'll share it at the end what the data is supporting XYZ project, let's say. Because I've had it where I had a BA on one of my teams. They asked, I go to these meetings all the time. They ask me to sit there. I sit there for 2 hours and nothing gets done. I said, you know what? Why don't you create a story in there? And in the story, create some subtasks. Every time you go to the meeting for 2 hours, write how many hours you are in that meeting. So just add subtasks to the story. Put the story in work and support, and add subtasks in there. Couple things that does, right? One, it'll give you data at the end of the sprint to see how much time you really support this. Because what this BA then did was take it to their manager and look, we're supporting this effort a lot more than we plan. I don't know. Did you plan on this support? Because I can't do my testing. I can't write my stories because I'm in the middle of sitting in these meetings for a couple hours every day or a few times during a week. And I just want to give you the data that you can go to the other manager and find out what's really going on. So that's one. That's an example of someone using that data from tracking on the board, the task. And you just do it for one sprint, not every sprint, not every day, because it's like overhead. You're just looking to solve a particular problem at hand and free up a little bit of time in your calendar, right? And your time to do what you want to do. You think that's going to double your output or double your value. Here's another thing that does. One, it fills in your board on the Scrum board. People do look at that. So when you put tasks in there that you did this or whatever, it fills up with the board with other things that are non-related, but it shows that you're doing more on your overall Scrum board, that you have this meeting today. Here's all my meetings I have. Here's a 2-hour meeting. Here's a 2-hour meeting. Put them down as subtasks on in your sprint planning day. So on your sprint planning day, put all those as subtasks that need to be done during the week. And as you go in each day, move them in process, move them to done when they're done. But track it. Trust me, track it, because it'll a couple things it'll do. It'll help prevent people from asking you questions all day and coming at you. Can you help me with this? Because they don't see what's going on in your calendar. They don't check your calendar out, and your calendar may not have that. But on the board, put that as an activity. So again, you can retrospect on that. So we're going to talk to one retrospective idea. So at the end of the sprint, you track this data. You have legitimate data to talk to. Because I'll be honest with you, when people complain about that, I said, write it freaking down. I'm tired of you complaining about it. Track it on the damn board, right? Sometimes you got to be a little bit of a hard butt on that and say, track it on the board. Don't tell me. Put a story in there. Every time you go in the meeting for that project XYZ, put a little subtask and let's reflect on it. Because here's the other thing. If somebody else goes working, I want them to understand how much effort it takes to support the other thing too. Sharing that with your team does a couple of things for you. One, it shares with the team that you are busy on this other thing. It gets them aware of, oh shit, I don't want to be on that project because I'm going to have to do all that support work. I don't want that. It makes you feel more human with everyone else. They can feel for you in your effort to support this other team, right? Because you have some data, and share it. I'm serious. Share it at the end of the sprint as part of the sprint review with your team, how much support effort you did in that story, because it legitimizes what you did. Now, here's what you can do. So you're sharing it. You did a little retro, shared it with your boss, find out if this is what you really want to do. Now, if it needs to be, there's couple things you can do. One, you can say, well, if we're going to need to do this, I need to put a story in every sprint to represent this on my board. Give it a point, whatever you want. If you're using velocity and you're pointing things, give it a point, but put it on your board. Trust me, you're going to want to do this. Just do it, right? Sometimes as a mentor, just do it, right? So put it on there. Now, if your whole entire board's full of non-development work, there's a problem there. That would be another story, another day. So you got that. Now, what you can now negotiate with the other team. So maybe you plan to say, okay, I can't go to every meeting every day. What day of the week do you want me to attend? Because we're spending way too much time sitting this. Maybe every Wednesday is support that team. Let me make sure I'm not overdoing it, because I wrote this down for another article too. And I just want to check. No. Okay, then I got another one. There you go. Okay, so I got another one coming after this one. So anyway, so offer to that team, look, I'm not going to be here every day, sit here for 2 hours listening and talk about everything on the planet. Let's focus on a day. Do you want my support from my team to be on that effort? And I'll be there that day, right? So now you can show, hey, I'm supporting all this. I don't feel like I'm getting as much value from this. nor sharing enough value on this, let's pick a day that you want me to attend. If you have things you want to bring up, I will support those things on that day. Try to uh, collapse all those times that you're supporting all these other meetings, because that's a dangerous thing when you get these safe teams and you get these multiple trains and, oh, I gotta change, I gotta attend 50 different daily scrums so I can keep up what's going on. The answer is no, you don't, right? And I'll do another one on next week related to that, but you don't have to. But so use that data now to negotiate with the other teams, maybe one day a week that you attend these meetings. Get out of all those meetings, but say, let's focus on it. I'm going to be here on this day for what I do, what my team does. Bring your questions there, right? Maybe it's twice a week instead of being in every day during the week. Maybe negotiate, hey, I'll be here Tuesdays and Thursdays, or Monday and Wednesdays, right? So go from 5 days attending all these meetings to just 2 out of the 5, because you have data to share. Look, I'm attending a lot of times on this. I don't feel like I'm getting or contributing enough value. And it's legit. Like I say, I know you want me there, but I got other things I'd like to do. I don't think my time is specifically used, focused enough. So how about if I just attend these 2 days? So you can offer that, but you have data to back up all this stuff in, because once you share that data, because in reality, if you're doing project management stuff, your team should be building their team for supporting their project, right? So the more time you're just sitting in meetings and not really developing value per se, the more times you get problems. Now, and that's just the oh, we'll miss something. You miss one little thing. You'll be there tomorrow if they remember. If they don't remember, was it really that important? You got to ask yourself that question. But this is how you double your time. So now what I did with those simple motions: one, made more visible to everyone else that you are busy, gives you more value to the group because you're contributing this value. You just don't have one issue on your Scrum backlog. You have more now because you're supporting these other teams. And maybe it's just support, maybe it's DevOps stuff, maybe it's operation, how many bugs, doing a little operations story in there that your support. Put a subtask, and every time you have to answer a question, track that data. Same principle applies. How many days a week do you want to do that? Everyone wants an SLA for like 24 hours or 4 hours in the day, but does that really make sense? Doesn't necessarily make that sense. You can negotiate with the data, right? If it's something the production's down, yes, let's work on it. But if the production's not down, maybe you only work production source every 2 days or something like that. Extend it out a little bit, right? You don't have to get them fixed within 24 hours. It's a stupid metric, by the way. So maybe that'll be another day. I'll talk about DevOps support later another day, but just track that non-dev work. Give yourself something to retro on. Do a retro with your team. Get them educated on what you do outside of development work so they understand what you contribute to the team, what value adds. So now you're doubling your value to the team. Use that data with your boss and say, hey, look, we're supporting this team. Either they'll charge that other team more money, which now you're bringing more value to the team too. Or you can say, how about instead of going 5 days a week, I only go in 2 days a week. What 2 days would you want me to attend? I don't care which ones they are. So now we just freed up what, 2/3? If you got 5 days, you got 2 days, now you got 3. So more than 60% of your time that you once used to sit in those meetings, now I gave you another 60% back, doubled your time. See how easy that is? And that's just on one sprint of focusing on that. So I hope that helps you with getting 2-4, doubling your effort, getting double the value for your effort. And it's simple as tracking those non-development tasks. I really recommend it. I totally recommend it. With that, I say you have a great day. I hope this helps you. Tomorrow we're going to do We for Team. So we'll talk about more team stuff. And I want to wish you happy scrumming. Take care. Bye, everyone. See you tonight or tomorrow.